Hey, what's going on, guys? Kobasu TCG here, back at again with a brand new video. And today for you guys I will be deck profiling my Satellarknight deck profile for the August 2020 format. This is an update to my old profile with a couple cards changed around to sort of help suit what the upcoming meta is going to be. Really fun deck, nice control deck that's a change of pace to stuff that you would normally see floating around. And let's get right into the profile. So, first and foremost, we're playing 3 Satellarknight Deneb. Quite simply, it is the Stratos for the deck, it is the Searcher for the deck. When it is summoned, either normal or special or flip, whatever it might be, we can add a Tellarknight monster from our deck to the hand, except for Deneb. Then, after that, we're playing triple Altair. Altair's effect is that when it is summoned, we can target a Tellarknight monster in our grave, except for Altair, special summon it in defense. Also, monsters that we control cannot attack unless they are Tellarknight monsters. So it's just a reborn for the deck. Really good when we, on our opponent's end phase, we activate Monster Reborn to special summon monsters out from our grave. Then, we're playing 3 copies of Unakalhai. Unakalhai is the Armageddon Knife for the deck. It can foolish any Tellarknight card from our deck to the grave. Generally speaking, we're either sending Deneb or Altair. It's like if we have the Altair in hand, we'll send the Deneb, so that when we summon the Altair, we can summon out the Deneb, and then Deneb can grab us a search. And then we're playing 2 Vega, only 2 because it does brick in the hand, since its effect only summons another Tellarknight from our hand. Besides Vega, so it's only really good when we see other Tellarknights, so that's why we're only running it at 2. And then we are playing 1 Alsam, simply because when it is summoned, there's 1,000 bird, really nice for those matches where you're going into time and you just want to do that little bit extra damage. Next, we're playing 3 hand traps. We're playing 3 Ghost Ogre. This over something like Ash Blossom, simply because Numerons are now in the meta. And because of that, we want to make sure that we can stop the field spell, and Ghost Ogre is the best monster for the job. Next, for the spells, we're playing 2 Skybridge, only 2, because once again, like Vega, it can brick in multiples. Pretty much what this card does is that we can target a Tellarknight, special summon 1 monster with a different name from our deck, and shuffle the target monster back into our deck. While that monster is special summoned, by this effect is faced on the field, you cannot special summon monsters except Tellarknight monsters. We can only activate 1 Skybridge per turn. So it's a hot once per turn. Doesn't really help when we want to go into other Exceed plays. But it is good to get a couple first turn Tellarknight Exceeds up. Next, we're playing Double Desires, only 2. You could play a third if you really wanted to. I'm fine with the 2 ratio, as we don't really want to be resolving this card like more than once a game, in all honesty, since we do want to have our targets in our deck for Deneb. Then I'm playing 1 Rhoda, just to search out all of our Tellarknights, because they're all warriors. 1 Reborn, this helps when, if we foolish something with Unakalhai, we can then bring it back, do some first turn rank 4 plays. Onto the traps, there are a lot of them. 3 Imperms. If you can't afford Imperms, feel free to play Forbidden Chalices, or Compulsories, or Ash Blossoms, or Effect Veilers. Just whatever else you would prefer. I really like Imperm, because it is good going first or second, no matter what. So I like it for that instance. Then we're playing Triple Crackdown. This is our continuous trap of choice over Fiendish Chain or Fogblade, because Crackdown not only negates Crackdown, not only prevents the monster from activating its effects, but we get to take it. So that prevents them from link climbing, etc. Then, obviously, because this is Tellarknights, we are playing 3 Call of the Haunted. This allows us to grab our Tellarknight, our Altairs, our Denebs from our grave, bring them back on our opponent's end phase, summon a bunch of monsters out, or search heaps, so we can set up for next turn. Next, onto the counter traps. We're playing 3 Alpha. It's the in-archetype Solemn Judgment. By tributing a Tellarknight monster, we can negate an activation, destroy it, and then we can draw 1 card. Then we're playing a Solemn Brigade of 3 Judgment, 3 Strike. Pretty self-explanatory. These cards just say no. So there's no real other explanation for why they're there. They're just pretty standard in any control-based deck. Then lastly, we are playing the 1 of Imperial Order. Really just good one-off card, easy side out if in case we need a side out, stops any of those spell effects that we don't want our opponent using. Now, on to the extra deck. So, of course, we've got 3 of the main star of the show, 3 ultimate rare Trivers. Of course, if you don't have ultimate rares, that's fine. Pretty much what this card does is that when it exceed summoned, we can't special on the turn that is exceed summoned, where we cannot special summon other monsters except Satellarknight monsters. And when it is exceed summoned, we can return all other cards on the field back to the hand. Really strong, really effective mass removal. And once per turn, we can detach 1 exceed material from this card to send 1 random card from opponent's hand to the grave. And if this card with exceed material is into the grave, we can target 1 Satellarknight monster in our grave and special summon it. So a really nice floating effect, allows us to keep going off on our turn after it gets removed from the field. And that effect to bounce cards can be really strong, especially if you're playing Forbidden Droplets, Dark Will No More. If you've negated their field and bounced it all, it really sets your opponent back. Next, we're also playing 2 Ptolemaeus. This card's just really good for first turn plays if we want to get our first turn Triver, our first turn Constellar Diamond. This is the card that we can use to cheat out our other Satellarknight monsters. So not only do all monsters in the field become dark, we can detach 1 exceed material and discard a card to special summon from our extra deck 1 light Satellarknight monster. By using this face-up card as exceed material. Also, we cannot exceed other monsters for the rest of the turn. So this card's effect, where it makes all things dark, also really comes in use and is really effective when we use Constellar Diamond. This card was really good with Shadow Invoked format, still a solid card now. Pretty much what it does is during our main phase 2, we can also exceed summon this card by using a Satellarknight exceed monster we control as exceed material, except Constellar Diamond. While this card is exceed material, neither player can send cards from the deck to the grave. Any card added from the grave to the hand is banished instead, and it is like an Apollosa for all dark effects. But Ptolemaeus makes all monsters in the field dark. So in essence, Constellar Diamond would be an Apollosa for any kind of on-field effect our opponent might have. Really strong, really good floodgate effect as well. This monster straight up stops all dark based decks, stops Shadows completely as well, which is why it was relevant in the Shadow Invoked format. Still a solid card as of right now for our first turn play. Then of course we have 1 Deltaros. Quite simply, 3 level 4 monsters. While as exceed material, our opponent cannot activate cards or effects when we normal or special summon a monster. Once per turn, we can detach 1 exceed material to pop a card on the field, and if it's sent to the graveyard, we can special summon 1 Satellarknight from our deck. So really good for that floating effect to summon 1 out of a deck, continue our plays, continue going off. Next, on to just the rest of our toolbox. We're playing 1 Dweller, just good for graveyard-based decks. 1 Exciton Knight for a nuking effect. This is also really good if you happen to play a card like Anti-Magic Arrows. Just as a way to just nuke our opponent's back row really easy, really effectively. We're also playing 1 Daigusto Emerald for that Avarice type effect, just shuffling things back into our deck. We're playing 1 Tornado Dragon to our back row, 1 Gaga Magician, simply because that we can special summon out Trivers, or we can special summon out Constellar Diamonds from our graveyard, and then we could bounce them away with Trivers so we can always recycle them for future plays. Or we could summon another rank 4 and then go into Utopic Future. This is sort of like a mini Borload, stealing monsters for the turn. Really nice to sort of deal with some problematic cards that our opponent might have. And lastly, we're playing Utopia and Utopia the Lightning. Just once again, nice to get rid of some problematic monsters our opponent might have with Utopia Lightning's Armades style effect in the battle phase. No, we're not playing any Link monsters because this is Master Rule 5. We have no need for Link monsters anymore, so we're just going with a pure Exceed toolbox. Of course, if you wanted to play some Link monsters, feel free to put in those at your preference. Anyway guys, this has been Cover Soup TCG. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more content in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.